Hello and welcome all. I am Pallavi Gharami. I'm here with one more video on the subject effective technical communication. Today our topic of discussion is technical writing style and language from module 1. So let's see what is in it. Before we learn about the writing style and language of technical writing, let's discuss the definition and the uses of technical writing. As you can see, the slide reads technical writing is a type of writing where the author is writing about a particular subject that requires direction, instruction, or explanation. This style of writing has a very different purpose and different characteristics than other writing styles such as creative writing or academic writing or business writing. So, we can say that technical writing is straightforward and easy to understand explanation of a particular project, process, topic, or phenomenon. It explains clearly how something works, and technical writing differs from other forms of writing, including, as I have said here, academic writing or business writing or any kind of writing on entertainment. So, technical writing follows a non personal style and descriptive narrative. And we have to remember the audience of the text or document plays a vital role in determining the style and language of a piece of technical writing. So it is not written to impress, it is written to express. Very important. And it aims at providing clear and useful information to the targeted audience. So we have to remember that also a good technical writer can make a difficult task easy and can quickly explain a complex piece of information. Let's now see what the uses of our technical writing are. The subject for technical writing, it says there are two types of subject. It's tangible as well as abstract, and as I have already said that it's straightforward, easy to understand explanation, and it is an efficient and clear way of explaining something and how it works. So what is the meaning when I say, what does it mean when I say that the subject of technical writing can either be tangible or abstract? So tangible is something that can be seen or touched, such as a computer or software program, or information on how to assemble a piece of furniture. And when I say abstract, it means something that involved a series of steps that aren't related to a tangible object. One example, this might be steps required to complete an office process. After this, we also have some examples of technical writing such as instruction manuals, policy manuals, process manuals, user manuals, report of analysis, instructions for assembling a product, a summarization of a long report that highlights and shortens the most important elements. In the video about the different types of technical writing, I have discussed all these types of technical writings in details. Let's now see the different technical writing style. So, a good technical writer can make a difficult task easy, as I have already said earlier, and can quickly explain a piece of information. Now, these following points they help in achieving the appropriate writing style in technical documents. The first one is audience analysis. So, the technical writing may include certain words, phrases, abbreviations related to the subject of writing. But whoever is writing, that is the author, should ensure that the languages, the words, the phrases, the abbreviations that they have used, that is it is easy for the audience to comprehend such terms. Now, such thing this can be done by explaining or describing the terms in simplest language possible. So, good technical writing improves the reading experience. Now, let's see the second one, that is impersonal style. So, the technical writing should follow an impersonal style of narrative. It should be done from the third person's perspective, and technical writing should not include opinions of the author. Rather, it should be based on facts and research. Next is make it informative. So you should try and make your piece of technical writing a very informative one. And it should not, the technical writing should not aim to argue or entertain. The purpose of the technical writing is just straightforward providing information. So the focus should lie on detailing and imparting facts to the reader. That makes it informative. Now, the fourth one says the writing should be straightforward. I have discussed this earlier again. I'm saying that it should be to the point and as simple as possible to make sure the reader understands the process or instruction. So, this at times may appear as simply a list of steps to take to achieve the desired goal, or it may be a short or lengthy explanation of a concept or any abstract idea, but it should be to the point. Okay, next is educate the reader. Now, we should avoid emotive or flowery language. Rather, whatever message you want to impart, it should be imparted in an intellectual and factual manner. The reference points that you use should refer to the subject instead of the writer. That's how you educate the reader. Now, the next point is very, very much important. It says that keep your writing concise. Technical writing should be concise. It should use only as many words as are necessary. Enough details must be provided, but there should be economy in usage of words. Unnecessary descriptions bores the reader, so that must be avoided. The seventh point says we must ensure clarity in writing. The message that the author wants to convey to the reader should be clearly understandable. The author should ensure that every phrase or the abbreviation is clearly explained. It should not be a document that requires a manual, to understand the meaning or the information that is given. Okay, so it should be clear. The writing should be clear. Acha. The third, eighth one says conduct extensive research. Now, when we are about to write a technical document, we should gather information from a number of sources and understand the information that you have gathered so that it can be analyzed thoroughly, and then put the information in an easy way to understand format to instruct those who read it. The more inexperienced your audience, the more information you will need to gather and explain and reach their level. The ninth point says evaluate the writing. The ninth point says, though not mentioned here, we must always keep in mind, since it's a tiny little thing, but it is important, that is evaluate the writing. The writing should go through the various stages like revision, editing and proofreading to make it effective one. So all these things should be kept in mind to follow a definite style of writing. Next, the present slide is about technical writing language. Now, technical writing is usually formal in style, and the language is also formal, and also the presentation is formal. So here I have given the few rules that were framed by George Orwell on the language of technical writing. So these rules will make your technical writing much more formal and comprehensible. It says, never use a metaphor, simile, oxymoron or figures of speech. And then it says, never use a long word where a short one works. And always use active voice in writing. Never use foreign word or phrase, scientific term or a jargon if its regular English equivalent is available. Apart from all this, few exceptions are also there for technical writing, which is related to all these points which I have written here. If the audience habitually uses figures of speech, the author can use it too. That is one thing, exception. If the scientific jargon is a standard, the author can use it or must use it. And the third exception is that once a term or word is explained, it becomes usable in the document and can be consistently used thereafter. So if there are these rules which have been framed by George Orwell, there are exceptions also which we need to keep in mind. Let's see what's next. The next slide is about few tips on the language use. So the first tip says technical writing should be clear. That means the use of words that the audience understands should be made use. For example, unclear. The unwise walking about upon the area near the cliff edge may result in dangerous fall, and therefore it is recommended that one remains a safe distance to maintain personal history. So this I have read out from a text, and this sentence is really unclear. Now, in a very simple language, it should say, danger, stay away from the cliff. The next tip says that we should use simple active voice sentences. So, active voice clearly shows the subject in the sentence. It is the standard for technical writing, any kind of technical writing. Suppose if we write, the report was submitted by them. This is in passive voice. Now, active voice, see how it makes it more clear. They submitted the report. So, passive voice sometimes, obscures the subject. It is ambiguous and often leaves out important information. So, that's why active voice is much more preferred over passive voice. Now, again, there are few verbs which cannot be used in passive voice, that is appear, arrive, come, cry, die, go. Uh, this should be always used in, again, active voice. Then third point says keep the sentence structure simple. Now we all know that simple sentences help to convey the information much more easily. So the most important information should be placed at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, let me give you an example. This sentence, a large number of saplings are also required for the plantation drive. Now, this sentence can be simply written as plantation drive requires saplings. So, it's a simple sentence. The structure is simple. So, what happens is, why is it said to avoid long sentences? Long sentences actually tax the brain and make the retention of information a little bit difficult. And simple sentences can be made with one clause only. So that's why, and sufficient information is also given through the simple sentences. So that's why keep the sentence structure simple. Next tip says avoid the obvious in technical writing. So the author should understand the audience's technical level and write accordingly. That's all about it. Eliminate redundancy. Now we already know what is redundancy. Redundant prepositional phrases are there, and they make the text long and tiresome to read. Often these prepositional phrases, what I mean by saying is that it's a combination of preposition with noun phrase. So it is recommended that you use simpler words replacing prepositional phrases. For example, the lightning struck all of a sudden. So this phrase can simply be rewritten as the lightning struck suddenly. So that's important. An elaborate phrase is never beneficial in technical writing. Next is we should avoid verbosity and pomposity. So technical writing we know is a very informative piece of writing. So every word must contribute meaning to the sentence. Do not begin sentence with in order to, by using the word in order to, or by saying each and every. Okay, it is better to give instructions in a plain and simple language for specific audience. And technical writing is not actually the place to show off how linguistic you are. Not showing off linguistic abilities. It should be simple. Next is we should avoid cliches. So cliches are actually outdated way of writing, which is usually the writers attempt to impress the readers. Very similar to the previous point or the tip that I explained. Original and clear writing is considered better than any form of writing. Okay, so someone has rightly said actually the best English is plain English. So write exactly what is to be conveyed and do not use this uncomfortable language. Avoid using those. Now, use acronyms and abbreviations carefully. Okay, so actually, the use of acronyms and abbreviations should be minimal. If they are to be used, full definition should be given at their first use only. The next tip says use dictionaries and grammar checkers. So, for best results for your technical writing, you must always use dictionaries. This alleviates words in passive voice, unnecessary repetition, grammar, and spelling errors. Okay. The next tip says use style manuals. Now, what happens is when you use a style it helps the writer to follow the rules and conventions of writing. So, we all know that technical writing often follows a standard format or style. So, writers from academic institutions or professional organizations and corporations use these style guides. Here, the list says there are major style guides that can be used. They are Press Style Book. Then we have Chicago Manual of Style, and then last one, the Microsoft Manual of Style, which is used widely by technical writers for computer specific issues. This was briefly about the language and style of technical writing. We should abide by all the rules and points that I have discussed and try and make our technical writing a good and perfect one. Hope that was clear to all of you. Thank you.